have a little dilemma because there's no like legit road and I think there might be snakes. Pushima's me. Yeah, this is like where snakes live. That's great. Why? It says open. Okay. Success. Здравейте and welcome back to all of you guys who have been with me on this amazing journey of mine. For those of you guys who are new to my channel, my name is Laurie and I left New York City for a simple farm life in Bulgaria. But today is actually going to be a little bit different. We're not going to be looking at farm life exactly. We're actually going to be exploring Bulgaria. And right here you see last week we were in Buzluđa, which you can see in full detail in the video. I'll post the link above. But today we're actually going to be traveling to the Valley of the Kings, which you see right here. And when I say kings, I mean Thracian kings. We are on Thracian lands. But before we begin, just a reminder, if you'd like to subscribe, just make sure you click that little bell toggle. Otherwise, you might not be getting notifications on new videos. If you click the little bell, you'll get notifications every Sunday when I post a new video. Now, without further ado, let's jump right in. Що стига до могилата и там отпред.
Не много.
Але въпросът е защо не са направили път. Това е могилата.
Долу това някъде да обърна.
Нивата става все по-висока. Добре, дай да слезна да попитам. Ще чукне на вратата. We have a little dilemma because there's no like legit road and I think there might be snakes. Pushima's me. Yeah, this is like where snakes live. That's great. And it says that, I mean, this is a mogila, clearly, but look, we're like in the middle. We're literally in the middle of Jackie. Of a field. There's lavender behind me, which is really beautiful. But oh god, I'm surprised he's not yelling at me yet. Okay, let's go see. What's the deal here? It says open online. Why? Why? It says open. Okay, well, that's not fair. Okay, I guess we're gonna go to the next one. All right, take two. We're gonna go to another one. Каква беше? Ostrusha. Могила Ostrusha. Success. It's done. Now, while I go look for the ticket booth, let me give you some history on Mogila Ostrusha. So this is one of the most famous mogili in Bulgaria. It has 6 rooms in a 100 square meter space, which is quite large for a mogila. It was excavated in 1993 in one of those big mounds. So whenever you see a big mound like that in Bulgaria, it's most likely a mogila. In this case, the mound was 18 meters high. And what is truly amazing about Ostrusha is that inside of that chamber that you saw in the very beginning at the center there is a amazingly preserved mural of a noblewoman. And this wasn't the only mural actually found there. So when you walk into that center chamber, unfortunately it was closed, I wish I could have filmed it, you will see on the roof dozens of squares and circles, little niches, filled with portraits of scenes of people, fights between animals, plants, and more geometric figures. Now, I'm referring to this as the center chamber only because it's the only one intact. I actually don't think this is the center chamber, but what's really important are these murals that you're seeing here. It's pretty rare to find murals that are so intact, and just as amazingly, yet not as rarely, there was a horse with a full set of silver appliques, as well as gilded armor collar and 2 silver vessels that were found in one of the other rooms. And this room was still not robbed, right? So many of these mugili are actually looted, unfortunately. Some looted in the modern era, while others were looted back in antiquity. Wow, right? I mean, have you seen eyes like that anywhere? The only place in the world that I've ever seen anything like this was in Egypt, in Cairo, in the museum. And still, when you see this face to face and know that it's on your own land, it's truly amazing. So now actually, I'll explain everything later. And as promised, let me begin explaining. So this is the tomb of Seuthes III, Seuthes III, and yes, it is called Голямата косматка, or the Big Hairy Mound, for that exact reason. I couldn't believe it myself, but Bulgarians named it the Big Hairy Mound because it was literally this big mound with a lot of shrubs, and it looked hairy from the side, and it pretty much picked up that name. And who is Seuthes III? Well, he is one of the most famous kings of Thrace, of the Odrysian kingdom in Thrace, from 331 to 300 BC. He is also the founder of Setopolis, and this is a huge Thracian city, which, if you can believe it or not, was actually flooded intentionally to make something like a reservoir. Honestly, it's ridiculous. This tomb is unique as it has a very unusual 13-meter long corridor after that facade, the very impressive facade that you saw at the very beginning. And then as you pass the long corridor, there were 3 consecutive rooms. The first room is a rectangular room and has a rainbow-shaped double-pitched roof. There, a horse was sacrificed. The next chamber is circular and domed, and the third room is carved in a huge stone block that has double-pitched coverings, resembling something of a sarcophagus. This is where the funeral bed is. Everything that you're seeing here in the sarcophagus chamber are belongings that Seuthes III, the king, is going to need in his afterlife, including the knee pads, the gilded helmet, the leather armor, the collar, the sword, the spears, the coins, bronze vessels, amphoras, which actually, amazingly, contained thick Thracian wine. And Thrace was famous in antiquity for its wine. Greeks would actually come over to Thrace specifically to buy the wine. It was one of the biggest exports of Thrace. The first records of Thracian wine date all the way back to the Iliad. It says that every night the black ships were transporting amphora of wine from the Thracian shores and piling them up in the tent of Agamemnon. In Homer's Odyssey, Odysseus sets forth from Troy all the way to Ithaca. On his great journey, one of the first encounters with the wild and barbarian world occurs in Thrace. And why was the word barbarian used, you may be asking? Well, because according to the Greeks, undiluted wine, which is exactly what was drunk in Thrace, was considered wild wine. No one drank wine this way except for the barbarians, the Thracians, which I have to say, as a descendant of ancient Thracians and a Bulgarian, I am very proud of this. So, if that deems me a barbarian, then so be it. And alongside the barbarians, other mythological creatures like centaurs enjoyed this wine. And best part is, Greeks actually said that there was no wine that could compare to Thracian wine. So, I guess they would dilute it a bit, but the point is that Thrace and wine are strongly intertwined. And just another really cool fun fact for those of you guys who are history buffs like me, I'm sure you've heard of the great escape of Odysseus from the cave of the Cyclops, Polyphemus. Well, guess what helped him escape? The strong, undiluted, wild Thracian wine. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always very curious about what ancient cultures enjoyed for food. And overall, the Thracian diet is pretty similar to modern-day Bulgarian diet. They would enjoy a lot of dairy products, a lot of wheat, barley, lentils, and they bred cows, sheep, goats, pigs, so on and so forth. But what is very interesting and definitely different from Bulgarian diet is we're aware of an existence of a strange Thracian type of bread. It's named after the term for rye, which was briza, and it was sour and bitter, and it is thought to actually have caused hallucinations. So there is some sort of cult sense associated to this type of bread. We don't know the full facts, but I thought that was pretty interesting to share. And Thracians did enjoy my favorite drink as well, beer, which was made of fungus-infected barley. And now, if you're wondering what Thracians looked like, and no, I'm not depicting myself here implying that I look like a Thracian, although, I kid you not, the boy that worked at Seuthes III gave me the compliment of a lifetime and actually did tell me I look like a Thracian, which really made my day. I think my outfit might have had something to do with it. Anyway, so Thracians were depicted as being very tall, the men very broad and strong, women very tall and beautiful, men very good looking as well, with the most beautiful horses that anyone has ever seen, according to the ancient Greeks. And what's very interesting is that they were also depicted as having blonde hair, blue eyes, or reddish hair, blue eyes, or hazel greenish eyes. This is very interesting because Bulgaria nowadays is very mixed. Some of us have really dark hair, really dark eyes. My mom is blonde hair, blue eyes. My sister is blonde hair, blue eyes. My grandma is like brownish hair, blue eyes. I'm brownish hair, greenish, hazel eyes. My dad was brown hair, hazel eyes, greenish, just like mine. So traces can still be seen today. We are a very mixed people, but I am very proud to say that we do descend from ancient Thrace, and we definitely live and continue the life that once was lived on Thracian lands. As always, thank you guys very much for watching. This was a very special video to me. I'm very passionate about this topic, and I hope to see you guys again next time.